the presentation of the Eagles by the Topeka West Junior ROTC in the playing of our national anthem. Right in second class, Tristan Hobbs, Ethan Kennedy, and Hunter Shercock, commanded by Sergeant Deontay Lamb. Traditional Charger chanting fight song.
What should we do now? Hello and welcome to Hover Sports Park for another exciting night of Topeka West football. I'm Byron Ashley alongside Mr. Corey Wilson, and tonight your Topeka West Chargers played their final game of the season against the Highland Park Scots. The Chargers are 2-6 on the season. The Chargers won their first 2 games of the season and look to be in full program turnaround mode. They've since lost 6 straight, some by large margins. They also lost their first 2 districts games, which have effectively eliminated them from the postseason. Still, things haven't been all bad for the Chargers. After a couple blowouts in the midseason, the Chargers seem to have regained a little bit of their swagger as the season progressed. One thing is for sure, they've shown that they are not going to give up on this season. In fact, last week the Chargers held the lead against Shawnee Heights for much of the first 3 quarters. Tonight, though, is a test that must be passed. Highland Park is winless on the season, but has beaten the Chargers the past few seasons. Although last season's victory was later overturned due to their having played some ineligible players, things are different tonight. The Chargers are favored, and they are expected to win this game. It would be a big boost going into the offseason to have 3 wins under their belts, and would definitely give Coach John Tetuan a message that things are turning around. The Chargers must borrow a page from the Kansas City Chiefs playbook and play turnover-free football. If they can do that, things should be going well this evening.
Byron, it's great to be with you this evening. I promise I won't get in your way, but I may be asking you a question or two as the game goes along. It's been a pleasure listening to you broadcast all season long. I hope the fans appreciate all the work that it takes for you and every game that you put in.
Great job to everyone involved with our recognition ceremonies. And speaking of recognition, this is our 15th season of broadcasting athletics and activities. In fact, few people know this, but we were the first to broadcast athletic events on cable television in the area. We take pride in continuing this tradition. This year will be no different as far as bringing you a variety of events both in sports and in performing arts. You will of course be able to see us on Topeka Public Schools Cable Channel 14 as always. This year though, we are proud to be joining the Play on Sports Internet Network. This will allow us to provide both live stream events as well as events on demand. So if you miss a broadcast, just head over to playonsports.com and click Watch Now and follow the quick and easy directions to our channel. It is really exciting for us to be bringing you a part of our programming. We want to thank Linden State Bank for underwriting a portion of this project. If you would like to be a part of this underwriting these exciting student-run events, please contact Corey Wilson at Topeka West High School. So stay with us as we get ready for some exciting Topeka West Charger football. And we're back. Senior night, the last game of the season for the Topeka West Chargers. You'd seen it was raining just a few moments ago. You know, that's almost kind of fitting of how our season has been going, you know, all year. But hopefully tonight will provide us with some things we have not seen so much of this season as Tiffany kicks off to number 7 of Highland Park. We get this game started. We'll give you some players to look out for Highland Park on offense. The quarterback Clark, who has completed 71 of he's completed 50 passes for 638 yards, 4 touchdown passes, and 11 interceptions, while also carrying the ball 71 times for 159 rushing yards. Well, Clark hands it off. And their top running back to watch out is Clements, who's carried the ball 79 times this season for 285 rushing yards and their only rushing touchdown of the season. Those 4 touchdown passes and 1 touchdown on rushing are the Highland Park Scots' only touchdowns offensively on the year. So this team has not been offensively great. Well, they haven't really been great on either side of the ball, but especially so on offense. So the Chargers shouldn't have a hard time keeping Highland Park Scots, you know, below a couple of touchdowns. They could even keep them scoreless, as they have been through many games this season. And on 3rd down, that rushing attempt is no good. That was Wonder with the carry, who has 22 carries for 60 yards. And lastly, in the receiving corps is Roberts, who's caught 24 passes for 358 yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. And on 4th down, they'll go for it, and they get the 1st down.
You know, Byron, as we watch this game and as it begins to develop, the one thing, and with our excellent camera work here as well as multiple angles that we're giving you here, it's obvious that Highland Park is, although they've not won a game, they're certainly not afraid of playing us. They've had success the last few seasons, and I think it's really important that Topeka West close the door as many times early as they can to as they've done the last 2 plays here, to keep things in check for the Chargers.
Oh, absolutely. Highland Park, so far they're having their way on offense as they've just completed that last 1st down. 1st downs have been rare for the Scots this season. They only have 49 on the season, but certainly these Scots are capable of beating the Chargers as they have done. You know, the attitude is interesting going into this game. If you spend time around the players, you know that, you know, pretty much the consensus is that, like I previously said, we are favored. The players know that this team is very beatable, but they have to make sure that they're not cocky, as that's Clark throwing an incomplete pass on 3rd down. So the Chargers need to remember they are fighting a team as hungry for victory as they are, so they certainly got to keep mentally in check.
Well, and these guys know each other very well. Many of them went to middle school together, and they certainly don't want to lose this game, if just for some bragging rights between the two schools.
Oh, absolutely. You know, losing to a team that is winless hurts on any level of football. And like you said, there are some familiar faces. One of their football players is actually on this team right now, as that's
they're going to call that back. I'm not sure that that's, and I know what they're going to call. They're going to call a blocking in the back, but I saw that block and I don't think they got him. I have to question that one. Still a great run.
Yep, hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of that tonight. But
at this point in the season, there's no looking back, and it's important to both teams to play strong.
Looks like they're calling that back, and on second down, that's Reynolds who will keep it.
Reynolds at the 29-yard line. Fernandez. And Jones. And the first stops. Third down and 5.
It's third down and 5 for the Chargers. And that's Reynolds completing to Montoy Perry, who is wide open. He's at the 10, 5, and Chargers touchdown. The senior Montoy Perry puts the Chargers on the board. Here's senior night. So a fitting start to this game for the Chargers, as they put up 6 with 6 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
It was a great route and a great pass. Never a doubt, really.
And that was a senior, Austin Tiffany, who kicks it through the uprights to give the Chargers a 7-0 lead over the Scots.
At Linden State Bank, we understand that money doesn't grow on trees, so we provide the next best thing: friendly, comfortable, and competitive financing. Common sense residential and commercial lending. That's Linden State Bank, 1535 Southwest Fairlawn Road, Topeka. Linden State Bank. Big enough to serve, small enough to care. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We're here at Hummer Sports Park. Topeka West just scoring to take the 7-0 lead on a really, really nice play by the Chargers. How far was that, Byron? How far was that pass play? About 60 yards?
Yeah, I'd say so. Certainly gave Montoy Perry quite a workout there.
Certainly a well-designed play.
Absolutely.
First and 10, Highland Park at the 35-yard line.
So on that penalty, the Scots will begin on their own 35-yard line. And flags are thrown as
And again, I think it's important if Topeka West can get off to a good start here. Obviously, illegal procedure on the part of the Scots. If we can put a stop to this early on, things can change very quickly, or stay the way they are actually, and improve for the Chargers.
Yeah, Highland Park has had a lot of trouble with penalties this season, as they've had 48 total penalties for 389 yards lost off of penalties. Oh, wow, that's...
We can relate to that, too. We've had a bunch ourselves. I'm sure Coach Tetuan and the coaching staff from Highland Park would love to get together and see if they could figure out how to stop that for both teams. You know, there's often been talk of, by coaches in various coaching circles about both Topeka West and Highland Park, and wouldn't it be neat if they could consolidate their schools' teams in football. And because the talent pool is there, I think both Topeka West and Highland Park would agree that one of their biggest problems isn't the effort of the players or the talent of the players. It's just that there aren't enough of them. And the fact that if you combine these two teams, they would, I think, cause some people some difficulty. Both teams extremely tough-minded kids. They're just, sometimes when you're facing 6A schools that are twice and 3 times as big as you are, it's a tall task, and have to do it every week like the Chargers and the Scots have had to do is a credit to the efforts of both of these teams.
Yeah, you mentioned both these schools are small. Highland Park actually this year staying in 5A. They are the second smallest 6A, or a 5A rather, school in the state of Kansas, right behind Hayes High School. But certainly, you know, it's fun to think about what Highland Park and Topeka West could put together football-wise. Like you said, Highland Park may be better at something, whereas Topeka West lacks, and vice versa. And I agreed, it would be certainly a team to watch out for. Also, you want to dabble into the other sports. Basketball, as always, Highland Park would be a good team. And the baseball team, Topeka West, has been steadily improving in that department as well. So, interesting concept. Maybe in the future, USD 501 will want to merge these schools, and what we're talking about happens in the future. And on 3rd down and tomorrow, they run for it, and
well, the Chargers have just picked up a fumble.
And that's Zach Chavo with the fumble recovery, representing Obla.
And you're going to explain that to me?
Well, Obla is a society among a select few Topeka West senior football members and some non-football members, but Zach Chavo has been very good on defense since moving to an inside linebacker.
That ball almost,
or outside linebacker rather.
That one almost looked like it was about to get picked off there.
Yeah, and you know, Topeka West has been doing that a lot, shooting themselves in the foot as soon as they've getting balls back, but hopefully we won't see that tonight, as Chargers have been very articulate and very clean on offense, which they haven't been all season in the red zone, which they are in currently. Hopefully won't see too many mistakes in the red zone tonight, as that's Reynolds handing it off. As I was saying about Zach Chavo, he also, against Washburn Rural, recovered a fumble in the end zone for the Chargers' only touchdown in that game. So also Zach, a senior, certainly going all out tonight.
Well, and definitely we're seeing some key plays right now for Highland Park. They were backed up to their own goal line within, as you said, in the red zone. So far, the first two plays of this series, Highland Park has made a statement that they are not going to let West go anywhere.
Yeah, all you can say, at least they're trying, is Reynolds.
Oh, so wide open that he just couldn't hang on to it.
Well, that's a senior, Josh Stanek. Usually doesn't see much action this early in the game. Of course, he's a senior, so unfortunate that he could not hold on to that pass. Now it's 4th down and 11.
And here comes field goal.
Here comes a field goal unit, the senior Austin Tiffany. It's a 34-yarder for the senior. And that kick is good.
So 10-0, Topeka West on top of Highland Park, and we'll be right back after this from Linden State Bank.
At Linden State Bank, we understand that money doesn't grow on trees, so we provide the next best thing: friendly, comfortable, and competitive financing. Common sense residential and commercial lending. That's Linden State Bank, 1535 Southwest Fairlawn Road, Topeka. Linden State Bank. Big enough to serve, small enough to care. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We're back. Topeka West leading 10-0. First quarter against Highland Park. Been a unique skyline for Topeka for so long with all that, what do you call that, rebar? All that rebar around the Capitol. And now it's gone and it looks great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In daytime, you can see it. It's a beautiful bronze color, I believe. It seems like they've been working on that project forever, and now their efforts obviously showing off there. As kickoff returner gets crushed there. So yeah, certainly head down to downtown Topeka and check it out. It's neat.
Well, we're not deep into this ball game, but I think Highland Park is probably feeling a little pressure right now to get some success here on offense. They looked like they were going too early on, and then Topeka West stopped them, and so I think this drive here is pretty important to Highland Park.
Oh, absolutely. Anything to get back in this game, as there's only about 3 minutes remaining in this first quarter. If they could get a touchdown or even a field goal, get this game back within a possession.
And again, if you watch our great camera work here and our audio video guy, Adrian Aguilar, at the switcher, he gives you plenty of looks, and Highland Park definitely looks like they're still ready to play this game. There's no backing down.
Yeah, back on that note, I myself is a senior, and I'd like to extend my thanks out to Adrian, who's been with us all season. So providing us with excellent camera angles and all the technical stuff.
And of course, you don't want to forget Dylan.
We also I'd also like to give a thanks to Dylan.
If the NCAA offered Division I scholarships in camera operation, Dylan would get one.
Yes,
and
Dylan.
That one is wide open there. Great run by the Scots.
Yeah, I'd like to make that correction. Is Dylan. I believe Dalton is his brother, so no hard feelings, Dylan. You know, unlike your camera work down there, I am not perfect, so.
The Scots are making a statement right now. They're moving right down the field. 1st and 10 from about the 30-yard line.
Yes, quite a statement. The highest point total in a single game Highland Park has scored was against Emporia when they scored 13. Already looking like they're having moderate success as they're getting ever closer to that coveted red zone. And the handoff to the running back. That's Clements with the carry.
Both these teams have coaches with some pretty solid pedigree in winning and losing. Nick Cummings and John Tetuan, both of them outstanding athletes and players in their own right, and they know how to win.
Absolutely. John Tetuan was a 3-sport letter athlete at Hayden High School. I believe he played baseball at Wichita State and got drafted by the Rockies. So certainly Tetuan knows his sports, especially football. He led Hayden to state, one state, I don't know how many times, but certainly knows how to win on the field. Now on the sideline, that has unfortunately been a different story, but well, hell, hey, if we can get another win here, be a 3-6 season, certainly show that Tetuan can turn around this program as a wild pass intended for Ortega, incomplete there.
Well, I think most people that have followed this Charger program closely would already tell you that Coach Tetuan has done a great deal to change the attitude of these players. He works with them not just during the season, but 365 days a year, and doesn't give up on them. As you mentioned, he is an excellent baseball player, and of course coaches in the summertime with the Giants, and excellent job there. He's our Charger baseball coach. He does just a little bit of everything, and we're lucky to have him. And you can see the difference in the Charger football program just in the last couple of years. He's really, really made a difference.
Yep, truly is a Renaissance man.
Well, as important as the last series was to Highland Park, I think this is a fairly important one to Topeka West here. If they can score again, I got to think that's going to make a statement to the Scots that things are going to be really a tough go this evening.
Oh, absolutely. We'll see this on this drive, hopefully. Reynolds, quick pass intended for Joe Galvin. Oh, and if you watched Reynolds closely this season, you can see a couple of his passes. It's almost become, unfortunately, a trademark for him. Those passes really close to the feet of his intended receiver. So hopefully next year, he's only a junior, we'd like to mention. So hopefully he can work on that for next season. And we will see that pass completed.
Huggis didn't get very many yards on that play, but man, the yards he got were well earned. He really pushed it to get close to 5 yards on that play.
Oh, absolutely, and he's not even playing his natural position, as you've seen all season. Huggis becoming almost a household name in the Charger community, as he's Topeka West's top rusher. On the season, he has 597 yards and 8 touchdowns before this game. Reynolds looking.
There were two really good things about that play. Reynolds had all day long to pass that ball. Great protection on the part of the offensive line, and then after the catch, a great run for some extra yards.
That was Josh Stanek, who had previously dropped that pass near the goal line. So far, he's looking to redeem himself, doing a good job there with that reception. Michael Mariani in the backfield. There's a flag before the play can really get off. That was a delay of offense. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of those mental mistakes that have cost the Chargers in yards. The Chargers will try again. First down and 15 after the penalty on their own 43-yard line. Reynolds looking, throws to his intended target, Tyler Shima, the senior.
That one took a little bit too long to develop. I think it had been higher. I think Highland Park would have batted it away. He was right on top of him, ready to do so.
Now, we've seen in the couple last games, he's had a lot of great catches, most of them large gains. Pull up those stats here. As you can see, Tyler Shima, 9 catches on the season for 165 yards. That's Reynolds, his trademark quarterback keeper.
And those of us that have been around Topeka West for a while know that Reynolds reminds a lot of us of Tyrell Brown, who now plays at Washburn. They have the same body build, and of course they're playing the same position as well at quarterback.
Well, obviously that large frame and height helps him obviously to look over the defenders and see his open targets, while also those long legs help him sprint like a deer. Although, you know, some of the football members tease him. He kind of looks like he's prancing through, but like I said, when you're that tall and you're getting around defenders, you kind of do have to swerve and tiptoe around us. That was Michael Mariani kicking and scratching for that first down conversion.
That's exactly what it was. He wasn't going to quit on that one.
So as I go back to Tyler Shima, each of his catches averaged 18 yards. So hopefully we'll sing a lot of that aerial acrobatics tonight, as it is also his last game in a Charger uniform. Reynolds slings it out to Mose Huggis. That's a first down.
Again, a reminder, residents of USD 501 who are 65 years of age or older, you're eligible for access to unlimited wedding events, as well as music and drama productions. Check out the VIP Club, residents of USD 501 and 65 years of age or older.
Reynolds throwing.
Looked like it maybe got a little wet, or it just looked like it got away from him. He never really Didn't look like he threw it down on purpose. Looked like it slipped out of his hand just as he threw it.
Well, that very well could be the case. You may not have been able to see it on your screen during the ceremonies. It was pouring out there, raining cats and dogs, so certainly that ball could be a little slick. Well, it looks like it's really cleared up. Just as the Chargers have cleared up on offense, it looks like. Reynolds.
Oh, that's not good.
Was looking like he wanted to throw that. Overall, just got sacked there. Now bring up 3rd down and long.
What about 18 thereabouts? 3rd and 18?
Yeah, 3rd down and 18. Boy, if the Chargers could complete here, that'd really just put the icing on the cake. Our senior night. Well, there's a... Looks like that lineman just got a little too excited there for the Scots.
Well, it's a great job on the part of the Chargers to draw them off, but once again, to me it just speaks volumes of how ready Coach Cummins has these Scots ready to play. They are hungry and wanting to do everything they can to bring home a victory for this game.
And hopefully that won't get up too out of hand, as these two teams have been infamous for getting into scraps. So far, it looks like it's been a pretty clean game. Reynolds throwing and over the head of his intended target. That was intended for Perry, boy. Not something you need to clean up there besides those low near the feet passes. That ball thrown into triple coverage. Reynolds has had his fair share of interceptions, 12 on the season to be exact. So besides
he did throw it long, though. I think he knew if it was just going to be either caught for a touchdown or thrown away. I think he threw it over that coverage. But you're right. As slick as it is out here, you want to be careful with that.
That's Reynolds.
Great move by Reynolds. He's going to be short, I think, but a great move. And he is short. It's Scott's ball.
Boy, those near red zone fumble or turnovers, rather, not looking like it's going to stop so far tonight. But certainly Reynolds does have a powerful arm. If you see him in practice, that kid is more than capable of throwing 50-yard passes. Hopefully we will be seeing a lot of those tonight as far as entertainment value. Most likely, as it would seem, his most likely target would be Tyler Shima, as he's made catching those long passes. His
good hard run there by the Scots.
Well, Clements has been impressive tonight, as he has been all season for the Highland Park Scots. Chargers need to make sure to lock him up.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow, that's rough.
It was a great play, great setup by the quarterback, and similar to us in the red zone here a while ago. Just had it in his hands, and he was so wide open he couldn't hang on.
That was Gonzalez targeted. And that pass by Clark. Well out of bounds. His intended target, Ortega, been good all season. Caught 16 passes for 65 yards and 1 touchdown pass. Or a touchdown reception, rather.
The Chargers nearly got to the punter the last time. It'll be interesting to see if they go or if they just set up to run a return.
Back deep looks to be Montoy Perry. Oi. A short punt there. Chargers fortunate as they begin at great field position.
Well, they didn't get the block, but they got the pressure. And you could tell it just didn't come off his foot.
Nope, that didn't seem to be the case for Highland Park. Not what they wanted. And Mose Huggis with that great run.
Great catch, great effort, great second effort. He did it all on that play.
Yeah, Huggis really can't do anything. On receiving wise, he's caught 16 passes for 134 yards and even has a touchdown reception.
Well, that was such a nice run. I thought he'd gotten a first down, but he's a yard short.
Well, there's a penalty on that play. Mose Huggis really is an athlete as he also plays basketball. I believe he plays point guard. Averaged well over 11 or 10 points. So on the court or on the turf, he is a threat offensively.
Well, we're going to lose our audio-video switcher come basketball season. Adrian Aguilar will be playing basketball for the Chargers. So, and that's just around the corner.
Yeah, we like to mention that Chargers' first game will be, I believe, one of the first Fridays in December. That game at home against the Hayden Wildcats. Sure, there'll be a rowdy crowd for that first Charger game. You'll be able to see the three-point threat of Mose Huggis, another basketball player on this team. Actually, quite a few, but from predominantly Joseph Galvin, another guard who averaged well over double-digit point per game average. It seemed like there's some debris flying on the field.
Well, we've had some crazy weather here. As you know, at the very, very beginning of this game, we had a swirling rain shower that came down, and it was a fine mist, but at times it picked itself up. You know, Byron, you were out there on the field while that was going on, and I think we're just about ready to be getting another one.
Yeah, it looks like that. You know, in Kansas, it seems like 1 minute it's raining and sleeting, another minute, 95 degrees. So, speaking of 95 degrees, a hot pass by Reynolds over the head of his intended target.
And you saw the wind there that Adrian was able to show you with that one camera. It is whipping it up.
Speaking of whipping it up,
do we have a down marker down there? I can't even see it anymore. It's behind. It's hiding.
Adrian has really been giving his opponents the whips on his point guard. So be sure to see us on Topeka West Charger broadcast on Play On Sports. You'll be able to see all our basketball home games. Anyways, Josh Reynolds is scrambling, trying to salvage that play. Well, as far as entertainment value goes, that was a success. The actual design play, I'm sure Tetuan grown a some gray hairs there. Another senior, Jared Myers, he plays on the basketball team as well, and Tyler Shima also playing the front court for the Chargers.
Topeka West has done very well with the coaching staffs as well with respect to that. I think both Coach Tetuan and Coach Bloomquist fully recognize the importance of working well together to get both of our programs back on the winning track. And it's fun to watch these coaches, these really good coaches who know how to win, begin to develop that in our kids.
Yeah, that was a great pickup by the Chargers, Coach Bloomquist.
And here comes the rain.
Boy, you don't think that wind could have came at a worse time, as Tiffany's kick was no good.
And you can see the rain there, courtesy of our brave camera souls, and really solid choice there. And the wind.
Yeah, back on that note, Bloomquist has been was previously at Emporia for multiple years, generated a lot of success for the Spartans. Arguably, you could say he really started that program there for as long as he was there. Oh, he brought some of that his philosophies to Topeka West, as he got him back on the winning track for the first time, I believe, more than 2 years. So just like the Topeka West Chargers, hopefully we'll see that basketball team improve, as really all athletics here at Topeka West have been doing since the start of 2010.
And you can't say Charger fans aren't smart. They have crawled their way up to the top of the press box here underneath the overhang. There's a small overhang at the very top of the press box, and they're not leaving the stadium. They're going to stay and watch their Chargers, but they're up close.
Yeah, very smart. I believe Topeka West achieved AYP status
for hiding from rain, or
well, these Chargers,
great play there.
They're smart on and off the field, as you've seen in the senior night introductions. A lot of those football players, considering many academic institutions, Tyler Johnson, prominently intelligent on the team, is actually considering Stanford and Duke, two really good academic institutions. So you see Tyler Johnson there repping Oblaw with his vast amount of knowledge and excellent plays on the field at linebacker.
And it's been fun if you've watched the newspaper and seen the news over the past 6-7 months to watch the Highland Park Scots also with some of their alumni doing quite well in professional areas, most notably the San Francisco 49er, who is also now starting, or at least was for a while, for the 49ers, a Highland Park alum.
Yeah, that was Will Hoyt. If you had seen the game, he actually, for the starting lineups for each of the teams, NBC likes to show what colleges they went to as well. Another dive there as that ball was caught. And Michael Wilhoit actually attended Washburn University, but on live television, he said he went to Highland Park High School, Topeka, Kansas. So obviously USD's 501's influence really very far
He's very proud
reaching.
Obviously very proud of his time with the Highland Park Scouts.
And that ball nearly intercepted there. Wow. Some great coverage in the secondary. As now the Highland Park Scots are looking like they're getting a little bit more comfortable throwing the ball there, Clark.
I've actually thought he's thrown the ball pretty well all evening. They just haven't thrown it much. And a couple of times that he has thrown it, he's looked very good.
Well, I mean, statistically, why would you want to pass against the Chargers, as they've only allowed 1,110 yards of passing offense. Now on defense, that's a little less to be desired, as they've allowed 2,178 rushing yards on defense.
How much of that do you think is just physical size differences from some of these big 6A schools that Topeka West and Highland Park have to play?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the Chargers, being the size they are, they have to take pretty much who they can get, as that pass is complete.
First down
from Clark. Whereas Topeka High and Washburn Rural, they can really choose whoever they want.
Now the question is, do they have enough time to get to the end zone? There's only a minute and 20 seconds to go before halftime, and you kind of wonder if Topeka West is aware of that too.
And there's a penalty flag thrown.
Well, there should be another one there.
What are two penalties on that play?
Well, I didn't see the first one, but I certainly saw the second one. I saw the block in the back. I didn't see the shift, but
boy, that'll really push Highland Park back, as they were looking ready to possibly score, or at least get close to the red zone. Now they're pushed quite a distance back.
So it's about
now they start on the Chargers' 41-yard line.
It's about 15, first and 15.
Yep. And that's Clark. Oh, wow.
Great play.
Yeah, great play to say the least, but really that ball could have been at least deflected. Talking about function there in the secondary.
You got 58 seconds to go, and the Scots are looking a lot better than they were even 20 seconds ago about maybe getting to that end zone.
Boy, that ball was kind of bobbled there, but they're calling it complete. Brings up second down.
And we've got a timeout on the play, so we're going to take a break. Linden State Bank is coming your way.
At Linden State Bank, we understand that money doesn't grow on trees, so we provide the next best thing: friendly, comfortable, and competitive financing. Common sense residential and commercial lending. That's Linden State Bank, 1535 Southwest Fairlawn Road, Topeka. Linden State Bank, big enough to serve, small enough to care. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Back at Hummer Sports Park with the incredible Byron Ashley. Take it away, Byron.
Oh, It's quite a compliment. I wouldn't call myself incredible, but I certainly thank you for that.
I think Dalton was the, or did I say Dalton?
Yeah, see, even my co-anchor here kind of getting mixed up. Dalton and Dylan. As Clark takes it himself for the touchdown, and now this game looking a lot more competitive than it really already was. You know, Church only had a 10-0 lead, but now that lead cut by 6.
Well, and again, our cameras, I think, tell the story. You're getting up close, and you're seeing what we're seeing up close. The Scots are in this game to stay. They're even with being behind 10-0. They were just ready to play, and it cost us here.
Yep, certainly positive for the Highland Park Scots going into the locker room, as that 2-point conversion is good. And now the Scots are only a safety away from tying up this game. There's only 39.4 seconds remaining. Not really much Chargers can do here. Although it looks like they will hold on the lead unless they have any malfunctions on special teams, which they have, unfortunately, especially in that Junction City game. But on the season, the Chargers have fumbled the ball 19 times and lost them 13 times. Especially when it's this wet and rainy, you really don't know what could happen.
And they'll get the ball, won't they, to start the second half?
Yes, I believe so. That's correct. So even if the Chargers don't get anything going here, they'll get another crack at it at the beginning of the second half.
I would think that would be, in my mind, set a little bit as to what as to whether I actually tried to do a lot with this time remaining.
You know, that is something to look forward to as the Chargers head into the locker room. Now, while they will, looking like they will go into the locker room with the lead, you can't imagine Tetuan is too pleased.
I don't know. He gave him the ball at the 45. Tetuan may rethink this, or close to the 45. Calling it right at the 45. And something else good there with all that rain, it looked like the band was not going to perform, but we're hearing them practice, so looks like we're going to get a halftime show as well.
And besides athletics and academics, as Reynolds connects. That is
great play.
That is Montoy Perry. And besides academics and athletics, Chargers also excel in other extracurricular activities, especially the band. If you get a chance, check out the Topeka West Charger band. They got a lot of talent. There's Reynolds showing his talents running the ball.
And timeout by the Chargers.
Or and the Chargers may actually get a chance to extend the lead here late in the first half.
And we'll be right back.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you.
One shot at this.
The weather has kind of been fluctuating throughout the night. Unfortunately, it looks like it's made its way back. So with about less than half a minute left, they'll hand that ball off to Montoy Perry.
Big play here.
As it's raining here, maybe the Chargers will try keeping it on the ground, as that ball is kind of hard to catch, but that doesn't look like to be the case, as Reynolds looking to pass. Nope, looks like he'll keep it. And so close to the end zone.
Now, do they have time to kill the clock?
Now there's 8.2 seconds left. They got to go for it now.
And he's in. That's
and
awesome.
At the half, Topeka West sneaks in another touchdown.
Well, and it goes back, I think, to the decision the Scots made to try to pooch that kick. And they could have pushed that ball way down and really made the Chargers just kind of sit on the rest of the half. But they gave them life at the 45, and that was probably not the best choice. And we just lost the band.
Well, it's unfortunate on senior night, as so many seniors are a part of that great Charger band. Of course, you can see them perform many more times throughout the academic year, though for the football season, I'm afraid that's it. The light show is next Wednesday, so if you're really eager to see that great Charger band, you can see them Wednesday. We're kind of stuck in the twilight zone here. There's 0 seconds remaining on the game clock, as Austin Tiffany, third time's the charm. And at the half, it's 17 Chargers, 8 Highland Park.
Well, the Chargers are raring to go this second half. They obviously got the lead, and they want the ball again, and they're waiting now for the Scots to take the field. The Scots are now lining up to kick it off here in the second half of play. Topeka West and Highland Park, both teams that are frankly struggled all year long, but have really put on a good show this evening. Perhaps the only thing that's more noticeable than some of the great plays in this game has been the rain.
Well, absolutely. Looks like that rain has cleared up pretty well. As that's Michael Mariani sliding there as he caught that kickoff. You know, we've been saying Michael Mariani a lot this season. It seems like he's been playing like he's a senior, but he's only a junior. So for now, looking next season, he'll be a great returning starter for the Chargers, as he has been since sophomore year. And on the first play of the second half, boy, that ball had some strange movement there. and thrown away by Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm not so sure the Highland Park defender didn't get back there almost faster than the ball did.
That's Mose Huggis with the carry down near the 36-yard line.
Making the initial hit, number 53, Shabazz. Third down and 6.
Reynolds slings it out to Joe Galvin, who couldn't quite hold on to the pass. Or they may need to get a towel and really wipe that ball down. Topeka West has had butterfingers all through this game. And that brings up 4th and 6. And that's Reynolds, the quarterback, who punts it out of bounds. Looked like there's some extracurricular activity coming from Highland Park. Boy, there's just about the worst penalty you can do, especially since you really can't control it. But Highland Park showing their frustration there with that unsportsmanlike penalty. Really, you would wonder why they're so frustrated. They've got this game well in contention. Perhaps it's just been the wear of the season that's weighing down on them.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. The fact that both teams have been penalized in this situation. We've seen it all year long where they lose their composure just for a moment, and it is a struggle every play. And not that every team doesn't face that, but these two teams in particular have had to deal with that.
And that's Clark. And that was to Roberts, and there's a penalty flag thrown as you've seen Roberts kind of making a hand gesture, arm gesture there. Boy, and another unsportsmanlike penalty. Well, you don't see that very often, too. You'd think that coach would have reprimanded Highland Park by now, but kind of seems like on offense they're having a mind of their own. We'll get you some Centennial League score updates. Latest we got was in the first quarter, Manhattan Junction City, the Indians led 7-0. In the second quarter, T-High leads Washburn Rural 21-7. As Clements is taken down there. And Seaman and Shawnee Heights deadlock in the second quarter, 7-7.
There's just some great area rivalries in football. Had the opportunity to see Rossville play, and small school, small town, it makes no difference. Some of those schools have some of the most intense plays that I've seen in high school sports.
Well, you know, as Clark rolling towards his right, kind of threw that ball away. There was no one there. Kind of odd why they must have identified who he was targeting, but perhaps they figured they'd just give Highland Park a break. So on 3rd down and 11, that's Clark handing off.
Great pursuit on the outside by the Chargers that time.
Now is Tyler Johnson and Christian Brooks with the tackle. Christian Brooks, Tyler Johnson, both seniors. That's an encroachment by the offense. Now looks like Topeka West is going to get even better field position, perhaps. And there goes the flag, as you saw Montoya Perry kind of get hit there, even though we called fair ball. That is a penalty. And the penalty piling up for the Scots. So now the Chargers 11 yards away from the red zone, and that's where they'll begin. Perhaps starting, perhaps the best, wow, Reynolds. Oh, wow, kind of threw up I hope someone can catch this pass.
Well, it's kind of an interesting play because I don't think Reynolds saw who was about to hit him, and I don't think the defender saw that it was almost a touchdown pass. He almost caught that ball.
And Reynolds will keep it himself.
Reynolds down inside the 25-yard line. Making the stop. Gonzalez and Roberts. 3rd and short.
I think what's been interesting about Topeka West is how they've reacted to some of the aggressive movements on the part of Highland Park, blitzes if you will. They seem to control themselves quite a bit better. You can tell, and I think that's just an attitude that these two teams have about one another. I'm going to guess that was illegal motion on the Chargers on the line on the left side.
And unfortunately, you can see not the friendliest emotions towards each other. As of late, this game has kind of gotten scrappy. Now 3rd down and 9. Reynolds fakes off.
They've run that play a couple of times, and it hasn't been as effective as you would think. Obviously Highland Park's pursuit has been good on both of the 2 or 3 times that I've seen him attempt it. Long field goal.
Tetuan must be feeling good if they're going for this. Boy, it's looking like about a what looked to be like a maybe a 46 yard attempt, maybe even more, as that field goal post isn't quite on the green.
Well, it was a heck of an effort.
And that's Clark looking. With that stop on the run, now bring up 3rd down. Clark again throwing.
And it would look like a good pass. Again, it's hard to tell from this angle whether it was right on the money or whether he just dropped it. But again, Highland Park has had some success with the pass.
Another closely defended punt.
One thing we can say that I think, Byron, that I've noticed about this, and I'm sure you noticed it as well, but maybe because you're so close to the team, you just don't think much about it. You can certainly tell the strength factor difference in this Topeka West team from this year compared to last year. They've neutralized Highland Park on the line, if anything else.
Oh, I mean, you know, you could look at last year's record and this year's record and what potentially it could be. And you couldn't even have watched a single game from this year or last year to know that the Chargers have improved significantly, especially in offenses. They made the switch with the quarterback Reynolds, and now the offense flowing a lot more smoothly than it did last season.
Well, and poor Mr. Brooks, poor Christian, he got thrown into the fire right off the bat with the injury of Jonathan Mariani, and did a great job as a stand-in quarterback there early in the season. Then it became his job, and the one thing that I noticed is our offensive line is much better prepared to protect our quarterback than they were last year. They're stronger. They're more focused, and I think we're reaping benefits from that. And that line may be just wearing Highland Park down. Highland Park just doesn't have the same swagger they had a while ago. And Topeka West seems to be intensifying theirs. This could be big if they score here.
That pass completed to Montoy Perry.
I think back to this game a year ago, Byron, and Topeka West and Highland Park were playing over at Highland Park Stadium, and they were knotted in a pretty close game, and then Highland Park just began to beat us on every play. They seemed to have more strength and more speed near the end of the game, and just really I think demoralized us in so many ways, and that's just not happening here tonight. It's just Topeka West just looks too strong right now.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a role reversal here tonight. And with so many seniors on this Chargers team, it seems fitting that they go out this way, you know, assuming they can hold on to this lead. But with only fourth quarter and about 3 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in this third quarter, I'd say that the Chargers are right on route to a victory.
Well, and if they score here, it's going to be difficult for Highland Park to come back from that many points down, because it's just been
And Reynolds looking like he wanted a throw.
Well, he got the first
and
down.
He does. He gets it to his target. That was Tyler Shima with that kind of caught off guard there with that catch.
Gives them first and goal. Oh.
And Reynolds with a great pass. And into the end zone, the senior Huggis for a touchdown, but there's a flag on the play.
It looks like a hold. Nope.
That's a block in the back for the offense. They will try again. First and goal. Reynolds looking, gets it into the hands of his intended target, couldn't quite hold on to it. That was Shima, the intended target.
I will say this, Byron, if I can make any criticism of the Chargers tonight, it would be this. They got to change these jerseys. We cannot see their numbers from up here.
Well, you know, we're kind of like Oregon. We like to change up our uniforms, maybe not as frequently as them, as well, looks like Mose Huggins is looking to rip off a great play there. You know, in the locker room, they decided kind of almost a pregame decision to go with the gray and black combination. These black unis are the first time they used them this season. You know, and Mr. Wilson, if you're not really a fan of new uniforms, I believe the baseball team is getting new uniforms as well. So,
well, in baseball, you got a pitcher and you got a batter, and you pretty much know who's got the ball and who's going to toss the ball. With all these different handoffs and the like, it's hard to see who's got it because you've got a 57-year-old man with 57-year-old eyes trying to find a number that from here is hard to see.
Yeah, and you know,
now, I can see the Highland Park numbers just fine.
And you know, at night that may be even a little more difficult. Oh, what is this, the third field goal attempt? They're really looking to get Tiffany out on a good note. Is that field goal?
He got all of that.
Is good. So now the Chargers have a 12-point lead over the Scots with a minute remaining in this third quarter.
And we'll be back.
At Linden State Bank, we understand that money doesn't grow on trees, so we provide the next best thing: friendly, comfortable, and competitive financing. Common sense residential and commercial lending. That's Linden State Bank, 1535 Southwest Fairlawn Road, Topeka. Linden State Bank. Big enough to serve, small enough to care. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And as we near the end of the third quarter, 1 minute to go in the third quarter, Topeka West leads Highland Park 20-8. Young Mr. Tiffany just kicked another field goal to put the Chargers ahead by 12. But they had the ball first and goal on the 5 and didn't get in with a touchdown. And so if I'm Highland Park's coaching staff, I'm reminding that to them right now. Oh, and Topeka West almost got that ball. The ball bounced outward rather than in. Had it bounced inward, I think Highland Park would have had a tough time fielding that one.
At the half, at that Junction City Manhattan game, the Blue Jays trailed the Blue Indians 7-10. Certainly a competitive game between those two teams.
And they've always had a great rivalry, those two teams.
No, absolutely. They're the furthest most Western teams in the Centennial League, so naturally you got that geographic rivalry, and both football teams very competitive year in and year out. As
great hit there.
Now is Tyler Johnson with that tackle again, repping Oblaw.
Great run there.
Looks like number 30's getting loose there. Breaking, countless tackles there.
Absolutely.
And it looks like they got the whole Chargers unit on him.
It was a great run.
Boy, that may have been the most yards gained in one single play by Highland Park all season. And below 10 seconds remaining in this third quarter, they're looking to generate, and picked off by Montoy Perry. Boy, and he's looking like he's going to go all the way, but he's taken down.
And that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. Great play by the Chargers. At the end of 3, it's Topeka West 20, Highland Park 8.
At Linden State Bank, we understand that money doesn't grow on trees, so we provide the next best thing: friendly, comfortable, and competitive financing, common sense residential and commercial lending. That's Linden State Bank, 1535 Southwest Fairlawn Road, Topeka. Linden State Bank, big enough to serve, small enough to care. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There it is. Adrian's favorite shot right there. Our newly crowned capital without rebar. First time that maybe some of our high school kids have ever even seen the Capitol. It's been under construction for so long that it finally the rebar is gone, and we're seeing a really pretty Capitol building.
Boy, you know, that last play by Highland Park, kind of representative of how the Scots season has been going. They try and try, but you know, you got to credit the defense too. That was a great interception by the secondary there. Stopped Highland Park ice cold. As Reynolds showing Highland Park how to throw the ball as he completes that pass to Tyler Shima. Showing them how it's done. In the fourth quarter, Topeka High is up 35-7 over Washburn Rural, and it appears as though the Trojans are headed to the playoff for the second year in a row. Flag is thrown there. That's holding on the offense. And another flag.
And that's going to be on the Chargers. Left a little bit too early, I think.
Boy, you know, the Chargers have done a really good job of not drawing penalties, but uncharacteristically, tonight anyway, they've drawn 2 in a row. Boy, that great starting field position slowly diminishing.
I think both teams have experienced this part tonight several times.
And Reynolds looking to pass. Nearly caught by Josh Stanek.
And I'm not sure they couldn't have called a motion on us again right there. We left a little bit early again, but they didn't call it that time.
On third down and long, Reynolds. He gets it completed to Perry, but he's met immediately by Clark.
We kid these referees a little bit. They're an interesting bunch. We have, at least at Topeka West, we have at least one referee on our faculty staff, John Lewis, who does a lot of high school games. These guys have a thankless job. They're only recognized when we think they're doing something wrong, and yet we know they spend a lot of time on Friday nights with these kids, and they certainly are appreciated.
Well, you know, that's the way it is on all levels, so, you know, excuse my criticism. That could be a little bit of bias, but...
Well, I think it's fun to pick on the refs. I think we all do it. It's they're the target.
Boy, Reynolds was the punter on that last attempt, and now they're bringing out the senior, John Works.
Oh, good punt.
Wow, and on senior night, that's a great punt. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's covering the punt return very well, but nonetheless, a beautiful, high-arcing punt. Great way to go out, John.
It'll be first and 10 Scots at the Topeka West 46-yard line.
Well, now I think the one thing that the Chargers are going to want to do is force the Scots to run the clock a little bit.
And John Works with that punt, certainly representing Oglaw.
Great tackle there by the Chargers.
Number 30, Wonder. Hit the line of scrimmage, brought down by number 56, Hubbard. Number 58, Nicholas Cole on the stop as well.
That was Javon Hubbard, the senior. You may have heard that he was considering University of Central Missouri. He has been heavily recruited throughout the season by the Mules, so hopefully if you ever... Hopefully he'll see some playing time there if he does eventually get that scholarship offer. So if you want to see more collegiate success of Topeka West athletics, certainly a great chance to see just that in Javon Hubbard.
It'll be interesting to see just where some of these senior athletes end up next year.
Absolutely. You heard Ryan Watson, the senior. He's a two-sport, multi-sport athlete, does track. He's been getting multiple letters from different junior and universities for track. So on that note, I guess you could say Ryan Watson representing Obla. Wow, Clark having a lot of free running room there. Wow, Topeka West kind of getting sloppy on defense in this fourth quarter. Highland Park really having their way on offense.
Well, there's no doubt right now that Highland Park is showing a great deal of composure. They're not trying to hurry things, even though there is right at about 8:15 to go. I think they recognize they can score and make this game real tight.
Wow. Stopped just short.
Roberts with the carry. And on the stop for Topeka West, McBride.
And that was Ryan repping Obla with that mean tackle. And Highland Park in the end zone for the second time tonight. And with that, 14 points. The Scots in this game scored the most points in a single game all season, fittingly against the Chargers. You know, it seems like the Chargers have really taken control of this game, but now with that, Chargers only lead by a single possession. And then Highland Park will get that 2-point conversion. Now it's back to a 4-point game. Potentially this is anyone's game at this point, considering how both teams have been playing.
And we'll see what happens here with 7:52 to go in the fourth quarter. Topeka West lead has been cut to 20-16. We'll be right back.
At Linden State Bank, we understand that money doesn't grow on trees, so we provide the next best thing: friendly, comfortable, and competitive financing, common sense residential and commercial lending. That's Linden State Bank, 1535 Southwest Fairlawn Road, Topeka. Linden State Bank, big enough to serve, small enough to care. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And there's Adrian's shot again of the beautiful State House here in Topeka, Kansas. You got to copyright that shot, Adrian. I think that's all yours. Anybody tries to shoot it again next year, we'll just have to go through you first to make sure that that's okay. This will be interesting.
That was a squib kick by Highland Park there, maybe to regain possession of the ball, but Chargers shot right through that. And now they start out with great field position on their own 38-yard line.
Chargers need to run the clock, but I think more than anything right now, they need to reestablish their swagger and let Highland Park know that they're not going to catch up. Right now, I think Highland Park's feeling pretty confident right now.
Yep, you know, this team does have a lot of swagger. One in particular, Cole Wright. Boy, does he have swag. And Reynolds swallowed up on that play.
It's a big play for the Chargers. You almost have to wonder if they won't look at this as two-down territory. It's late enough in the game that field position is has a different meaning.
Well, in the beginning of the game, you wouldn't have no worries at all, but now it seems like it's almost dire as that pass picked off by Clark. Clark has really been doing it all for Highland Park tonight. And, you know, in hindsight, that may not have been the best thing for Highland Park because that was third down and Topeka West would have had to punt it. Well, now look where they're at. They're right at the 20. So in a way,
Well, you got your playmaking quarterback making the interception. He's already pumped up, and that did nothing but give him more confidence. I think I'd rather have kept that ball another down.
and Clark looking for throwing room. Boy, this game has gone really exciting. Is now the Highland Park Scots are looking for a comeback. All right, great tackle made there. Boy, you got to think Clark could be tired by now. He's a lot of those scrambling quarterback plays.
He's living on adrenaline right now. He's made some great plays defensively, and he's wanting to carry this team. I'd look for him to run more.
Well, you can see Ethan Baker down there pumping up the crowd. Boy, and it looks like they're stopped there.
I don't know if I'm Highland Park. I think a gamble right here.
Well, considering how much time is left and the way this game is going, they may want to punt it, although it looks like they're going for it. It is 4th and short.
And it's complete.
Oh, wow.
Great play by the Scots.
That pass complete. Boy, and the Chargers, they may want to loosen their calls here a little bit. They're kind of getting, nervous here. I was talking about Ethan Baker. He's been a great part of this football team, even though technically this year he is a manager or, athletic trainer in training rather. He had been with the football team, although unfortunately his career had been plagued with injuries. He's a senior, so we'd like to recognize him and what he's done for the team.
He's a great kid. He has had all kinds of bad luck. He fought his way through the first injury and then tried to get himself back out there to do it again, and darn if he didn't get hurt again. He's a great kid. Any college would be lucky to have him.
And he's been looked at by various colleges for... Uh-oh, there goes Clark. He's off and running. Ethan does track, and you'll be able to see him this season. He should be healed up and ready to go for track as he's been looked at. So with that, Ethan reppin' Oblaw.
Plenty of time left. 4 minutes, 35 seconds to go. You mentioned earlier, Byron, that you thought maybe the quarterback for Highland Park might be getting tired, or you wondered why he wouldn't be. I'm not so sure our defense isn't as tired. They look like they're reaching a lot. They're not wrapping up people like they were earlier. And again, this is, not only the energy factor, but the emotional factor. There you go.
On second down, looks like they'll get the stop there.
Coach Cummins out on the field almost there, endorsing his Scots there.
Hey, and on defense, they may need it. In fact, they may need the whole team on there to stop the Scots the way they've been moving the ball.
Well, they've been down this road with Topeka West a lot in the last few years, and they have a lot of confidence in playing the Chargers, and it may come down to just that. Can the Chargers muster some stops here in the last 3 minutes and 28 seconds? Things are getting a little nervous here. Adrian, can you give us that capital shot again? Give us a little bit of something to soothe us or relax us here a little bit as we near the ending of this ball game. It's getting tense. We need that. There you go. Just kind of relax and enjoy the Kansas skyline, courtesy of Topeka West's Adrian Aguilar. The dome really does look good. You have to give it that. I mean, I haven't seen the thing without rebar around it for so long that I've forgotten how pretty it is. All right, here we go.
It's third down and short for Highland Park. Now looks like looks as though they may have gotten it. And they do.
Well, you almost hope that if at this point that if the dam's going to break, that it does it quickly so the Chargers don't run out of time. And the ball's on the ground.
Oh, wow. It looks like Highland Park is kind of got butterfingers with the football.
Great effort.
And as dramatic as that drive got, the Chargers pulled from the brink.
You got that right, Byron. I think that's about as accurate as you can be. You're certainly feeling that possibility that it was just going to go down to the Scots were going to continue to march down the field, and there wouldn't be much time left for the Chargers. But now, new life.
This game is, reminiscent of the Casey Schlegel game. The Chargers had a 4-point lead like they do now with a few, let's see, in this game it's 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Well, now the other game, it was below a minute or so. And the Chargers forced a huge turnover. Their center just got a little nervous and snapped the ball way over his head. That case very similar to what just happened. Chargers running down the clock here.
And that seems forever ago, Casey Schlegel game.
A game in which the Chargers won. Hopefully we will see that here. That pass is incomplete, and that's third down and 12.
And that stops the clock, too. Two bad things there for the Chargers. You know, you started this drive, or the ball possession, about 3:10, and you've only run off about 40 seconds, and you're already to third down. It's a tough way to do business.
And it looks like they're going to try and go for it again. Reynolds completes the pass to Montoy Perry, and they see that come from a mile away.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a penalty there. Kind of looked like maybe a delayed hit, but I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a personal foul. Oh, wow. The Scots really wasted an opportunity there. If they hadn't done whatever personal foul they did, it would have been 4th down.
Well, it's kind of hard to figure out what they did. I can only think that Chargers had held this up. You know, they were held up and they appeared to be down, and he came in and hit late. But I don't know, unless there's very lucky there to hang on to that one.
That ball snapped over the head of the quarterback, and Reynolds didn't even know it was snapped errantly until, of course, Tetuan said, hey, look, there's the ball on the ground. How about you get it? And he did. But, at times it's a little frustrating, as the Charger season has been, unfortunately, this whole season, not counting the first 2 games, of course. But
well, as Coach
looks like
Tetuan
they're going to have to take a timeout here as the play clock is running out, and just on time, too. Perfectly timed there. There's a minute and 30 seconds remaining in the game.
Well, as Coach Tetuan has said so many times, this game for our players, at least, is about learning how to play it. We've had to learn how to compete, and I think we've taken some strides there this year. But even tonight, we can see where there's a struggle from time to time about how that comes into play. That you have to play every down, and sometimes we've got a ways to go on that. I don't know about you, Byron, but I'm wishing a minute and 30 seconds would disappear. That Capitol building that Adrian's given me isn't working anymore. It's getting nervous.
Even though this game is just for sentimental reasons like bragging rights and pride, this game almost kind of has a feel of postseason implications, as this game is really coming down to the wire.
Well, both teams are certainly playing their hearts out. Both teams want to win this game.
Oh, wow. That pass intended for Galvin. Galvin well defended there. Now bring up 3rd and a whole lot.
So do you run this down, or what do you do?
Well, there's a minute 25 seconds remaining. Obviously, if they didn't go for a run on that last play, why would they go for one now? But although looks like Huggis is in the backfield, they use him as a decoy. And I can get the logic here. For one, it runs down the clock, or it should be, but they call timeout, strategically. So, you can see the logic in that, because I guess Tetuan didn't have enough confidence that they were going to convert that 4th down, and now Highland Park Scots, unless the Chargers, Tetuan just has some kind of malfunction in his headset, and they go for it on 4th and 16. They're probably going to punt it away. So,
well, I know that the gamesmanship on the part of both of these teams is at its height right now. Both teams are really, really wanting to make sure that the other team knows that they're there. It's a very tense time for both teams. It's kind of what makes it fun if you got no dog in the fight. But if you're a Charger fan right now and you're about ready to turn the ball over on downs or what have you, it's a little tough to take.
And that's Reynolds with the punt. Oh, wow. Yeah, it looked like he ran into the defender there before getting stopped.
Well, it's put up or shut up time for one of these two teams right now with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go in the ball game. A long field for Highland Park, but they've shown they can move quickly.
You know, great special team coverage there, especially by Cole Wright, the senior, reppin' Obla. Wow, Clark having a lot of running room there. Looks like he's going to get loose. Boy, and you know, this game has about as much excitement as a 0-8 team and a 2-6 team can give you.
And it looks like a cramp maybe on the part of the Scott player. The fans are getting into it too, and while we wait, we'll take a break to the Linden State Bank. Thanks for underwriting for us all this season here at Linden State Bank. They do so much for the community, and we appreciate them being a part of our programming as we begin this internet journey. We'll be right back.
At Linden State Bank, we understand that money doesn't grow on trees, so we provide the next best thing: friendly, comfortable, and competitive financing, common sense residential and commercial lending. That's Linden State Bank, 1535 Southwest Fairlawn Road, Topeka. Linden State Bank, big enough to serve, small enough to care. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We're back, and Topeka West and Highland Park are in the last 60 seconds of their season. Somebody's going to win this ball game. There's no way to score 2 points, I don't think. The only ones that could score 2 would be Topeka West, right?
Yep.
So somebody's going to win this game in the next 60 seconds. We're glad the Highland Park player is able to get up on his own and walk across the field. I'm going to guess he had cramps.
Kind of weird he can get cramps in this cold weather.
It's
but
crazy stuff. It's all about hydration, isn't it?
then again, that hasn't been completely normal weather.
Big play here.
First down and 10. Oh, the crowd really getting into it. I don't think I've ever heard Hummer Sports Park for the Chargers get this loud as Clark.
He caught that ball.
Boy, that is not good for the Chargers at all. That ball amazingly caught.
And we're at 1st and goal.
Oh, wow. You know, that really just kills the confidence on defense there. If the defense has any to begin with, that really is too bad. I mean, just a complete failure.
Well, the cameras don't lie. There's been an incredible skill set on the part of Highland Park. Their quarterback is in total control, even though there's a penalty here on the Scots. It's apparent that he is about as good a general as we've seen here today. He has really done a great job, and I don't think this penalty bothers him. I don't know that much of anything bothers him. So you got about 10 yards to go. 1st and goal from the 10. I wouldn't be surprised to see him run. He wants this play. You can tell. You can just look at him. He wants this play. He enjoys it. And more stoppage.
There's a timeout with 31.8 seconds. Timeout by Highland Park there. Boy, and this just...
And the Highland Park coach was furious for having to call that timeout. I don't think he wanted to call it. I think he felt the momentum was there, and they were ready to just keep going, even though they'd just been penalized. But he was furious about something as he came out on the field and had to call that timeout.
Oh, I'm just a loss for words here. This really has been a shocking development by Highland Park.
Well, your secret fraternity you got going with these senior boys better come through here, Byron. They better come up with a big play. They're capable of it, though.
All right, here we go.
I'm gonna guess you better watch the guy wide left too. Great defensive play by the Chargers. Now, I don't know if Highland Park has any more timeouts. I don't think they do.
The clock is running out here. There's only 15 seconds remaining in this game. This game coming down to a wire, and they'll take a knee.
It's getting intense here. Great defensive stand there. One more, if they can get one more. They've done a lot of reps in the weight room. They've been a lot of times this summer at Topeka West, working so hard with coaches that care and spend a huge amount of time with them. Parents have supported them all along the way, and it comes down to this maybe one play right here to see whether or not they're able to get that third win.
Third down. And that's Clark.
He's not in, but there's still time left on the clock. Great defense there.
And this is fitting right here. Fourth down with 4.6 seconds remaining. Was the last play of the season coming up.
And Topeka West takes a timeout, and we will too. We'll be right back.
At Linden State Bank, we understand that money doesn't grow on trees, so we provide the next best thing: friendly, comfortable, and competitive financing. Common sense residential and commercial lending. That's Linden State Bank, 1535 Southwest Fairlawn Road, Topeka. Linden State Bank, big enough to serve, small enough to care. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Boy, you know, this is the kind of stuff you see in the movies, not a more dramatic situation set up here. It's the fourth quarter. The Chargers have to get a defensive stop here. Last play. It has to be the last play. It's fourth down and only 4.6 seconds remaining in this game. And Highland Park on the verge. And they'll run the ball. And it looks like they'll get the stop there. And with no time remaining, the Topeka West Chargers will win their final game of the season. What a way for the Chargers to go out here on senior night. They get the hard-fought victory, 20-16.
Well, what's interesting about that, Byron, is the manner in which they did at that final stand there, reminiscent of the fact that Coach Tetuan has preached weight room all the time. And these guys, if they ever needed an example, they just got one. And they're going to have that to show to each other for a long time. If there's no better proof than that stand right there. Highland Park, a great effort on the part of the Scots tonight, and they never quit. I think we both had them finished off in the third quarter, and they hung tough and gave Topeka West a great game. Two pretty evenly matched teams.
Oh, wow. I mean, you know, and you get caught up on the excitement, and really, that game shouldn't have gone as close as it did. But you know what? A win's a win, and for the Chargers, they'll take it.
Well, Byron, it was fun being your understudy. I hope I did a good job.
Oh, you did great.
I'll do my best to maybe we can do it again during basketball
Absolutely,
season.
That's right. I'll still be here for baseball and basketball, but for football, that's it for me.
Hey, we want to thank everybody for watching for Topeka West Television. We'll see you next time.